So if you're tired of struggling to convert leads, or you feel like you're always chasing after the next sale, just give me 10 minutes to change this for you forever. The key to growth isn't always finding new leads, because the focus has shifted to there, and it's more important than ever to improve your current relationships to increase your revenue streams, because you need to optimize your customer journey, and it's really important to attend to what you already have planted before planting new seeds. Because remember that your funnel has already attracted many people, and you have a list of those people that were in fact interested in your offer and service at some point. And because it was at some point, that does not mean they are lost as a potential client. Because remember, what I like to say is just because they are currently unqualified does not mean they are disqualified. So what does this mean? What's the best solution? Well, it's something called the Ansoff matrix. And basically, it's a framework that helps you plan and evaluate where your growth opportunities are in a challenging market. And the essence of this model is in growing your revenue by developing 4 strategies, with each having a key question to answer for a successful approach. So, for example, the first approach is for new markets and existing products, where the goal is market development. So, for example, what barriers to entry in the new markets we want to enter and how can we overcome them? And then there's new markets and new product, where the goal is to diversify, asking yourself how to move into new markets with new products and services whilst keeping the Ferris wheel spinning with your current customers, as well as acquiring and expanding into new undiscovered areas of the market. And then there's new products and existing markets, where the goal is products and development. So you can ask yourself, what unmet needs or desires do your current customers have that our existing products don't address? And then finally, there's existing products and existing markets, where the goal is market penetration. So you can look at your current audience and ask yourself, what current behaviors and purchasing patterns do our customers currently show, and how can we encourage them to repeat business with us? And so the big question is, what do you do specifically? How to double your revenue in the next 14 days? We all want to know that. So it's easy because, as mentioned, you need to tend to what you have, and money is made through this simplicity. So, for example, for existing products and existing markets, you want to simply send out a campaign to your past clients asking, would they buy again? Because you would be surprised how many people say yes, because we have a new problem every day, every week, every month, every year, every hour, every second, something comes up. Life is unpredictable. And if you position yourself as available for them and that you can solve that problem right now, then you can add them to your client list. And what I see too often is people focus too much on one channel of distribution. Whilst this is important at the start, you need to realize there is an entire internet available to you. And it's a mindset trap people fall into thinking when they start thinking they can't find any more clients, where the opposite is true. And this does not mean creating new content. You simply just repurpose it, which might take you an extra hour or two, but at the end of the day, you're getting new clients and more revenue. Because if you have already conquered one market on one platform, the easiest approach is to find the top 100 people in your niche on this new platform, learn from them, see what the content looks like, take some inspiration, and redistribute on this platform with your content. Because your audience at the end of the day will be hanging out within this group of 100 people, and you will realize it is much easier than you think, especially if you're already well developed on one channel, because your reputation will take you much further than you think. And then you have another approach, which is new products and existing markets, where you have to focus on meeting the unmet needs of your current customers, leveraging the relationships and trust you've already built, and differentiating your new product in a way that adds value to your existing offerings. And what I've found the best approach is to have a customer-centric approach, because it is the existing market at the end of the day. The only way you are going to find out where the gap is and what job needs to be done, if you remember my previous video, is to do your research. And the best way to do this is to go directly to the source, to have a system of customer feedback, which can easily be done through Q&As, because people can ask you questions where you can demonstrate your competence and expertise. And if you can realize and notice this pattern of problems, you can put them together to come up with a larger idea, and then there's your new product. But more importantly, this would be where your sell starts, as your answers would be a glimmer of hope, and your giving them a quick win, raising their curiosity if there is more to come in terms of their problem and in relation to you solving that particular problem. So essentially, you need to find out what your customer is currently missing in their life. And from there, it's as basic as creating a list for those people that promotes an exclusive look into this new product that's been made for them. And when there is enough interest, you launch a pre-release version of the product to a select people of loyal customers and use their feedback to refine the product before the full launch. But then what about existing products in new markets? Well, remember, as I like to say, that unqualified does not mean disqualified. And this is where it's important to track and segment who is qualified, who's nearly qualified, because if you already have an email list of these individuals who have nearly qualified or nearly bought your service, you simply ask them in a friendly way, have they reached their goal? Or if they're still looking for a solution. And from there, the world is yours, basically. But with this approach, you can also take the expansion approach from earlier. Your content distributional channels means more awareness of the problem and as a result of your solution. But this is why it's important to build a good network and focus on building relationships on the internet, as existing products can easily be bought to a new market if you know someone who has another service in a new niche that complements yours. And from there, you basically do a partnership funnel where both parties would basically benefit from more exposure to these new markets. So let's say, for example, you have a coffee subscription service that partners up with a remote work productivity tool brand, for example. And the goal of this partnership would be to help these remote workers stay focused and productive whilst enjoying high quality coffee, because, as you know, all remote workers like a good coffee. And as a result, both parties would benefit because the coffee service would gain access to remote workers, and then the productivity platform would have new customers who might have not been familiar with the service before. And then there's the most challenging one and the one with the most risk, which is new markets and new product. Because sometimes we like to take on a challenge, especially on the internet, you have to. So we try new markets, new product. And the key here is to diversify, but you don't want to thin yourself out too much. So let's say you have an email list and you engage with this list, because at one point these individuals were interested in your service. With time, everyone diversifies. So these individuals have new problems and they'll jump from niche to niche. And your email list is your best weapon to engage with them and find this out. And that knowledge should open a door for you to position yourself differently. With new problems comes a new market, but you have to get this right. You don't need to abandon your current core expertise because you understand their past problems, their big problem, which was your offer, and their new roadblock. And usually people don't deviate too far from this. And usually the problems are sub-problems of the big one. And as a result, you will still be in your area of expertise or roundabout. So let's say, for example, you're a personal trainer helping on the gym floor, just your usual people. However, you've identified a gap in the market. And this gap is busy entrepreneurs who don't know much about nutrition and training. However, they understand the importance of fitness and their overall well-being, which directly correlates to their business performance. And so whilst you're on the gym floor, you diversify into online nutritional and workout plans for busy entrepreneurs, and you're not deviating too far from your core expertise because now, whilst you're on top of your current clients, you have a completely new market that you can look into, a market of unlimited potential if you position yourself correctly. But one thing to point out is that the further you go out into a new direction, the more risk there is. And the safest approach is seeing if your current audience requires help. That is the place to start. From there you can expand out, but diversify and expand only once you're 100% sure, because the closer you are to this corner, the safer the money-making method is. And the further out you are, the more riskier it gets. So what creative ideas do you have to increase your revenue streams using this matrix? Leave a comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and thank you for listening. And stay tuned for more content. Have a good day.